Artificial intelligence, in all its forms, has been blowing our minds lately, generating everything from lifelike images to ultra-convincing text in a matter of seconds. One might think that because generative AI is a machine that processes information using statistical approaches, its results are necessarily objective. But here's the catch. Being trained on human interactions in online environments means that it can also absorb all the old biases floating around in our world. Let's take a quick look into how Gen AI can accidentally reinforce the same biases humans have been struggling with for ages, why that matters, and what we can do to steer things toward a more open-minded future. Confirmation bias. This bias is explained by the tendency to seek out, decode, and remember information in a way that confirms our existing beliefs without challenging them with contrary arguments. Gen AI models respond based on patterns in their training data and the prompts they receive. If you frame your question in a way that already assumes a certain conclusion, the model is likely to present the information that fits that narrative. Just like a human search for evidence, the AI finds and amplifies what's already baked into your query. For example, suppose you strongly believe in learning styles, such as visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, and how they impact students. When interacting with a Gen AI model, you might pose questions like, why are learning styles so important for student success? If the model draws primarily from sources that affirm this belief, it will present what looks like a solid list of evidence. Because you framed your prompt to assume learning styles are not only real but crucial, the AI is more likely to deliver information that confirms that stance. In doing so, it reinforces your beliefs, even though the broader body of research doesn't support the idea that teaching strictly to learning styles improves outcomes. This creates a feedback loop where the AI's response, shaped by your biased prompt, appears to legitimize the concept you already believed in, instead of challenging it with a balanced perspective. So, how can you fight against this confirmation bias? For starters, instead of phrasing your question as, why are learning styles so important? Try, what is the evidence for and against the importance of learning styles? Further, don't rely only on one AI-generated answer. Compare the information you get with reputable external sources, peer-reviewed studies, academic articles, or established education research organizations. If the AI's claims don't match up with the broader body of evidence, you can correct your course. Gender, racial, or cultural bias. Imagine you ask a generative AI to write a short story about a doctor and a nurse. Without any guidance, it might automatically describe the doctor as male and the nurse as female. This kind of stereotype reflects old-school thinking that's still baked into a lot of training data. Or, if you ask an AI to generate images of successful CEOs, it might mostly show images of white men in suits. To fight against this bias, think about phrasing questions to explicitly request variety. For instance, show me examples of successful CEOs from different cultural backgrounds, or highlight notable female engineers from various parts of the world. Moreover, if you notice bias, you can prompt the model by asking, what are some examples that break common stereotypes? This encourages the AI to surface underrepresented groups or narratives. Automation bias. Automation bias is the tendency to over-rely on AI, assuming it to be more objective or error-free than it is. In a learning context, a student might accept the AI's explanation of a math concept without double-checking it for accuracy, or they might discount a correct solution if the AI's presentation seems confusing. Similarly, a user might rely on an AI's recommendation for a new product, ignoring their own intuition or additional sources. To fight this, prompt design should encourage users to question the AI's outputs. For example, instead of asking, what is the solution? Ask, what could be the solution and what are possible reasons it might be wrong? After receiving an answer, consider verifying data with external references or asking the AI to explain its reasoning step by step. By fostering a habit of scrutiny and critical thinking, we reduce the risk of relying too heavily, positively or negatively, on AI-generated information. Moving forward, addressing these three presented biases involves careful design, transparent processes, diverse datasets, and constant monitoring to ensure AI benefits all users equitably. Universities and developers must collaborate to audit algorithms, establish clear guidelines on AI use, and ensure that AI-driven tools serve to empower, not hinder, student and faculty success. The key to a responsible AI future in education is not to eliminate human judgment, but to enhance it through tools that respect academic freedom, diversity, and integrity.